Good morning, everyone. This is a clip discussing the Buddha's teachings produced by Nirodharam, Arama, a Bhikkhuni monastery in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Normally, we give Dhamma talks or the Buddha's teachings in Thai language. We have our own page in Thai as well. However, since there were some people, and most recently, a woman called Mani Chantra requested for Dhamma talks in English. That's the reason why we produced this new page, posting Dhamma talks in English. So we hope you all find this beneficial. Talking about beneficial aspect, today the first clip, I am Sikamana Achiraya, would like to talk about benefit and happiness that we get from the Buddha's teachings. First, let me clarify the meaning of the word Buddha Sasana. Buddha's teachings is the English translation of the word Buddha Sasana in Pali, Buddha Sasana in Pali language. Buddha means the one who knows already, and Sasana means teachings. Thus, Buddha Sasana or Buddha Sasana literally means the teachings of the one who knows already. The Buddha can be described as omniscient or Sapphanyu. He clearly sees the Four Noble Truths, the unsatisfactoriness, the cause or the origin of the unsatisfactoriness, the cessation of unsatisfactoriness, or the state that is no longer suffering, the state that liberates from greed, anger, and ignorance. And the last one is the way leading to the cessation of the unsatisfactoriness. In the shorter hardwood simile discourse, the Buddha once compared his teachings as a tree. When you look at a tree, you see twigs and leaves, or maybe its fruit. Inside a tree, there are also many parts. When you cross-cut a tree trunk, you find a bark, the outer covering of a tree, a bark, or the outer bark. Then, the inner bark, or someone might call an outer cambium layer, the inner bark. And then, sapwood, the outer light-colored portion of a tree trunk. And then, heartwood, the central core of the trunk. Such different parts or layers of the tree trunk can be a metaphor for different levels of Buddha's teachings. Twigs and leaves are a simile for giving or dana. The bark is a simile for training rules or precepts or moral conducts. The outer cambium layer or the inner bark is a simile for concentration or meditation. The sapwood is a simile for knowledge and vision, and the heartwood is a simile for liberation. Today, we'll learn more of the relation of these different parts to each other and benefit and happiness that we get from the Buddha's teachings. As I've mentioned earlier, the Buddha's teachings are just like a great standing tree. Of course, the tree can provide shelter for people resting under it. Twigs and leaves can give shade. From that tree, people gain a lot and take benefit in many different levels. Supposing there are people who live in the forest, wanting to find woods to build a house or a secure shelter from danger and bad weather. What they need to find is a large tree. What they need from such tree is hardwood, since it's denser, stronger, and drier than sapwood, so it can use to build a house. People in need of a hardwood have to cut through the bark, right? They have to cut to the bark, the outer bark, the inner bark, or the outer cambium layer, the sapwood, and then you reach the hardwood, the central, the most significant part of a tree. However, if those people do not know or do not have knowledge to know what is what, or unable to distinguish the sapwood from the hardwood, they might mistakenly take what is not necessary. The different parts of a tree mentioned earlier can be a metaphor for different levels of benefits. For some people coming into Buddhism and learn to give, when giving, they gain something in return. They are worshipped with lots of offerings and are praised by many people. This is the least benefit and happiness from the Buddha's teachings. It can be compared to twigs and leaves from a great tree. They provide shade, food, but not the utmost importance. For some people who pass through, overcome, clinging on gain, worship, and praise, but still cling to training rules or precepts. Keeping pure precept can prevent us from danger or doing wrongful deeds. However, just to have precepts with no wisdom is so dry inside. This is not a complete practice. Thus, training rule is a simile for bark, so dry, not the utmost importance. For some people who pass to gain, worship, and praise, keep precepts with wisdom, but still cling to meditation or to have a one-pointedness of mind. Meditation is a simile for the outer cambium layer or the inner bark of the tree. It's still not the essence, not the core of the Buddha's teachings. For some people who are able to pass through things I've mentioned earlier, including meditation, be able to reach to the point of having knowledge and vision, the Buddha compared having knowledge as the sapwood. It is indeed useful, but not the most, not the core of the tree. It cannot release us from the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The core of a tree, hardwood, is a simile for the liberation. Likewise, the essence or the utmost importance of the Buddha's teachings is the liberation through the destruction of all unwholesomeness and the practice of non-clinging, the dwelling with the mind empty of the feeling I and mind. By reaching the state of full liberation, no more birth, no more sickness, no more death and rebirth. So this is the different levels of benefit and happiness people gain from the Buddha's teachings. Once we learn each step, we'll know what to seek, the liberation. Now in conclusion, the Buddha's teachings are just like a great standing tree. Dana, or giving, is a simile for twigs and leaves. Moral conducts or precepts or training rules is a simile for bark. Meditation is a simile for the inner bark or outer cambium layer. Knowledge and vision is a simile for sapwood. Liberation is a simile for hardwood, the central, the essence of the tree. Just only from twigs and leaves, people cannot build a house. Just from bark, people cannot build a house. Just from inner bark or outer cambium layer, people cannot build a house. Just from sapwood, it cannot be used to make a strong house, but hardwood can. However, people cannot reach the hardwood without cutting through twigs, bark, inner bark, and sapwood. Similarly, people cannot reach the state of liberation without passing through dana or giving, training rules, meditation with wisdom, and knowledge and vision. We have to get through each layer step by step. Just like when you cut a tree, with patience, tolerance, and grit, you can achieve the most important part of the Buddha's teachings, and also with wisdom. With patience and wisdom, you can achieve the most important part of the Buddha's teachings. Today, I hope you all learn something and be able to adapt this knowledge to use in everyday life. May you all be happy and truly liberated from sorrow and suffering.